Good afternoon, welcome to Fishing for Bees, June 15th. It's just under 80 degrees, about 1:30 in the afternoon. We're up here to remove these supers from the ones on the right. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Rick. All these here are swarm catches. Everything in my other yard is a swarm catch. I've never split bees, I've never purchased bees, and this is where I'm at after several years of catching swarms. So if you're interested in that or you want to learn about catching swarms, please like and subscribe. Message me anytime, I'm here to help. So I'm just gonna go over the extra equipment that I used in addition to safety equipment to get these honey supers off here safely, and we're gonna then extract them. This is our spring flow, so I'm just gonna focus on the primo early spring, which are gonna be the lower supers. They fill the lower ones first and I stack on top. So the primo early spring super light honey that I enjoy so much. So let me show you the equipment and we'll get into it. So here's the extra equipment that I use in addition to the normal, safety equipment. So we got a blower for the stubborn ones after we use these fume boards. There's two fume boards here, so you're looking at a inside and an outside of the fume board, and then the honey robber product, which is just a smell that they don't like. I will say when you're done using the honey robber product, don't stack your supers super airtight. Let air still flow around them prior to extraction, just to get some of that smell out. It will eventually go away, but I notice it can stick around in the supers if you stack them tight. So on the inside here, we have just simply a foam pad. You just simply squirt the honey robber on there a good amount and then place that on top of the colony. What it does is then push the bees down and out the front door or into your brood boxes, just so they're not as many up in your supers. It takes time depending on how patient you are. So a lot of times I still end up having to use the Makita. The top here is something that absorbs heat, similar to a solar panel kinda. It creates heat underneath the lid there, which makes the smell even stronger to push the bees out. So nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna say it's the best. It's simply what I started with. A couple of the nice things is you only have to buy one or two pieces of equipment. If you're using bee escape boards, then you have to buy one for every single colony that you have in honey production, unless you want to come and pull a couple supers and then put it on another one, and a couple days later pull a couple supers. That's just a process I'm not interested in. One of the things that also concerns me about the bee escapes is that I don't necessarily have this scheduled out great when I'm going to pull supers. So if I put them on and they end up sitting for 5 or 7 days without bees in those upper supers, I'm concerned that that could cause a problem with ants. So this is a one-day process. I don't have to come and put the bee escapes on and then come back a couple days later. I can do this all in one day. It does take a little bit longer. And again, as I said, it's not the greatest, but it's what I do. I'm happy with it, and I will be exploring other options as we expand. So I offset these supers, and obviously I need to fix that now before I put this on the fume board. You want the horrible smell to stay in there to push them out of these supers. So just closing up the gap. One of the other things you need to keep in mind is to always work your colonies based on aggression. One down there has always been nasty. Great honey producers, not the most pleasant bees. They will be done last. There's a lot of activity up here, more than I anticipated. So, foam side down, the side that I sprayed the honey robber on. Solar panel up. Put it on. And wait it out. So always have a smoker lit whenever you're working your bees, but I don't smoke my supers. If you've seen in the past when I was checking the progress on these, I wasn't smoking inside the supers. I'm not smoking inside the supers to push the bees out. That smell, that taste can stick around. I have it here for safety. I have it here to push some bees around as needed, not necessarily in the supers, probably more in the deeps. Just always have it lit, but be careful using it in your supers. This thing's really slowed down to like nothing. They had an ant problem at one time, not in the colony, but under the inner cover, causing them a lot of stress. There isn't much good news up here. There's not a lot of bees up here at all. This is a lot of extra space for them to patrol. I'm just gonna take it away, break them down, and the super could maybe go on one of these other colonies. I'm not here to inspect, I'm here to get the honey super, so I don't really like the way this one looks, but these are all free bees. I'm not gonna stress over it, and what happens, happens. I kind of let my colonies just stand on their own. I'll give them a little bit of help, maybe a frame of brood, maybe some drawn comb, but for the most part, these are swarm catches that stand on their own, and I let them have a lot of say on the direction they're gonna go in. I anticipated this was gonna be light. My expectation is about 5 supers. There'll probably be some that's ready to go that I'll leave behind, but if it's in darker color, I don't want it right now. I only want the spring flow. I isolate my flows. I do gift packs with different flows of honey. My customers like the variety, so that's what we do. Nothing capped. And this is obviously what we're looking for. So we're not going to be able to take this whole box. This is a lot of bees up here. I'm going to have to use a fume board to get them down. One of the things I am going to do, just to make my life easier, is take this box and swap it out. I'm going to swap this one, put this one down first because this one's staying, put this one on top. The fume board works from boxes at the top first. Push them out of here into here, and hopefully you'll be able to take this one off relatively easy. That's the plan. This thing is heavy. This is crazy. Look at the size of that beetle that made it all the way in here. I'm sure it regretted that move. Right up until death. A little bit of edge persuasion with some smoke. Just so I'm not crushing so many bees. So that helps us when we get here. So you can see the fume board working, pushing the bees out. Takes time, at least 10 minutes, if not 15 or 20. But we're gonna start checking that top box. While we're inspecting, just swap this over. It's not gonna do any good sitting off of there. This top super is pretty well clean, free of bees. So they don't have it completely capped. This is a tough call. It looks very dry in the comb though, I will say that. But it's not what I'm looking for. This one's got too many bees. So we're all done here. We got 3 supers, which is pretty disappointing. The reason why this happened is the 2 tall ones, I didn't use queen excluders. I went right into honey production, and both of those queens laid up those supers really well. So I can say that not using queen excluders on these big colonies this year cost me about 2 supers of spring flow. And that's pretty disappointing, but live and learn. Sometimes I always thought that you put the queen excluders on the small ones, but when you got these rip-roaring colonies, as you can see with the populations of bees that these 2 have, she will go up there and lay them up and make the population even bigger. So that's about it for the spring flow. We may do 3 extractions this year. We got some new extraction equipment to play with. So it's all not that bad. We'll deal with it, but not what I was looking forward to. There's still a lot of spring honey in here, but the problem is it's laid up around brood, or it's combined with other flows that I'm just not interested in right now. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope your bees are well.